Hello everybody and welcome back to the CCA League. We have a fantastic matchup for you all today. The division... Oh, hold up. Something went wrong here on my end. Alright. Yes, we are good now. Alright. Sorry, had a little bit of echo coming through there. But yes, we are here in the Division B semifinals with the number 1 seed Michigan State taking on the number 4 seed, the Carne Inksada Fries of San Diego State University. I am DRF once again, joined by Magic 8 Ball.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on. It's great to finally get to commentate another one of these, and it's great to see these teams pushing for the Division B. You know, like, having these teams have this battleground has been really important for them to grow. And you can tell, like, all of these players are really trying to grind consistently. Like, MSU has just been improving at such a rapid rate.
They really have, and they were so dominant this regular season. Every set that they played was either 4-0 or 4-1. And they really just dominated. I don't think there's any other way to put that.
Yeah. And they're probably going to be dominant here. They are the favorites going in. 1 seed versus the 4 seed in this single elimination bracket. And they're going to have a best of 7 to try and bring this game to the finals.
Yes, and at stake here is a date with the Purdue Air Launchers. But we're going to go ahead and get started here with game number 1, Clam Blitz on the Snapper Canal Magic. What are you seeing from these comps here?
I'm seeing a Thermal Ink on Explosher, and I'm going to have a conversation with SDSU because that doesn't work the way that you think it works, unfortunately. But I really like the compositions here. Bit shooter heavy, obviously, not much to expect, but the combination of the Explo and the Sploosh can create some really interesting pressure situations if they end up playing around one another, and Organic Ink does go in. I believe that Stamp is able to find one. Strawberry's trying to dodge around this as the missiles cleaned the way for MSU to get that first dunk in while they were just looking a little bit to the left, came in from the right. And DRF, this is looking like MSU has got a pretty decent start going. I mean, definitely should not have been in their favor, but they turned it around.
Yeah, they got a really solid push there. Unfortunately, only able to get 1+2 in there. I thought that might have actually been able to snowball into a much bigger push than it actually was. But a decent start nonetheless. It does get them on the board at the very least. And they do maintain a decent amount of map control there. But kudos to San Diego State for putting a stop to that very quickly.
Right, exactly. You know, they held their ground. They made sure just stay safe, stay by the basket, try not to let anyone else sneak in. They held their ground, and they ended up going down, but you know, they popped their specials, did what they needed to do. And now MSU is going to try and make this time around a little bit different. This Explosion shoving the Jet Sculpture out, and the ball ends up being a beacon for the Stamp to try and traverse after, but it ends up going right by him, and Chef is able to dunk this one as well for a really big push on the side of MSU. And Organic Ink is going to be fighting Chef, and is not going to be able to make out the play. Wait a minute, MSU is going to keep this push going, at least for the time being. They're going to give it another 5 seconds from those clams, as Nick is up here on this high ground and able to take down one of the members of SDSU. There is really not a whole lot they could do to stop a Slosher in that position. They had to end up going one down.
Yeah, and look at Sandy already with another power clam lurking near this basket, attempting to take the rail. Oh, they're gonna make the move for it, and is able to get that dunk. And so another push here from Michigan State. They are able to follow up with a couple of clams. They do have 3 down. That's going to be a complete wipe on the side of San Diego State. So this should be a very solid push from MSU Splatoon right now, as they are within knockout range here. They just need to find a couple more clams sitting around, and they do have the numbers to do it. This should be it. And with 3 down, a nice last second push there to cap this knockout off.
I mean, it was really, really well done. Like, they had every time, it seemed like San Diego was trying to hold the ground. They were there with the power clam. They were there with a couple more specials. They were there with the missile to lead in Sandy to get those clams in. Like, every single time. It was, the pace of that game was very good. From Michigan State. And I mean, that's what we see from a Clam Blitz game. I'm expecting the rest of the set to go pretty much the same way.
Yeah, I mean, San Diego State did an excellent job of putting the stops there on a couple of pushes, but at that last push, they really just staggered and were not able to, collect themselves back together to stop it once more. So we do see some great defensive stops there from San Diego State, but, that is Clam Blitz, where I think it is one of the more easy modes, and Snapper Canal being a little bit of a easier map as well to get some of those stops. So Splatzone's Wahoo might be an entirely different story, like you mentioned.
It's gonna be interesting, especially if they pull out a composition like they had last time. That was really good on. That could be really good on a map like this, right? Where they have the walls, they have a lot of cover, they have a lot of like flat ground for the stamp to work on, as well as the tight choke points. It really could be a good showing for them if they stick with that Explosher composition.
Maybe switching off the thermal.
What MSU does. Yeah. I hope so. Please. For anyone who doesn't know, Explosher, so Thermal Ink only works when you hit a direct hit with something, right? Like with blasters, it only works if you hit a direct, and Explosher is the same way because it's kind of like a mix between a slosher and a blaster. So you only get it if you get the 90 damage, really. And so because of that, like, it's really not worth the investment. Like, because, and I don't know if you know this, if an opponent is damaged enough, you can look on the map anyways and see where they are.
Yeah, no, that is definitely true. So I could see it working in, very select situations, but we do now see Strawberry actually pivoting over to that Kensa Dynamo instead, still sticking with that Thermal Ink, and a couple of, several adjustments from both sides here.
Very much. I really like the Booyah here, right? Booyah is such an important special to have, and so both of these teams switched to it, with one with the K-Gun, one with the Dynamo. And a Thermal Ink is not nearly as a boon on Dynamo. I think it's actually quite useful. Two going down here, though. Booyah gets popped. Can try and trap these gamers in the zone. Not going to be able to find anyone. This Dynamo staying alive, though. Going to keep charging special, keep holding it down, and that's going to be one down from those Dynamo flicks. Can't be too aggressive on this map mode, or else it's really easy to get back in. And another one going down, and all of a sudden, this is looking like it could be the Inksada prize chance to turn things around.
Oh, but I think that was a missed opportunity with that Booyah Bomb there. That definitely seemed like it was trying to pressure some of the players of Michigan State away from the zone, but it didn't really work in their favor. Luckily, they did get the cap there for just a moment, enough to tack on that 30-some point penalty onto Michigan State. But they're struggling to hold on to this zone here, and Organic Ink going to be going down now as Michigan State moving on up.
And they were so close to picking off that flank from Nick on the Tri-Slosher. Fortunately, couldn't quite get it down. It seemed like they knew it was coming, too, just couldn't quite execute on stopping that Tri-Slosher from moving around and getting those picks. And so because of that, Organic's going to have a special back up, but they're losing these points very quickly.
Yeah, they are, and they're really starting to stagger here just a little bit. Look at them going 2 down now with 34 points remaining. Michigan State playing a little bit of a patient game, hanging back in the zone, but look at this hammer that actually comes through the zone, able to pick one off, but not going to be enough to get anything else done. And now time is running out for the Carne Inksada prizes. That's going to be 3 down and surely a knockout.
Oh, surely at this point. Dynamo can do a lot, but it can't solo cap a zone against 4 shooters, and that's going to be another quick win from Michigan State. They looked better, though. Like, the Inksada prize definitely looked better on that map mode. It seemed like they were a lot more comfortable, and they had many more chances to get things going. But like you said, started staggering, had a couple of missed opportunities with things like Booyah Bomb placement, but they did what they could,
Yeah, they are honestly looking like a much better team. I mean, just so far in these first 2 games, they've stacked up pretty decently with Michigan State. Michigan State's still showing that they are the better team, rightfully the #1 seed. But these early games, they are hanging with them, and I am thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, exactly. They're making it at least exciting and interesting, and analytically interesting, right? Like, there were situations that they could have collapsed on, right? And so because, like, there is that level of depth of play that we're seeing from the Inksada prize. And I really like to see that. I really like to see Even though it might feel like on their end, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we just lost again in 2 minutes. Like they had good chances.
Yeah, they really did. And I think it is worth noting, the first time that these teams played in the CCA League was week 1, where Michigan State did win that 4-0. And I don't recall if we managed to get that one on stream or not, but definitely from some of the earlier opportunities that we've had San Diego State on stream, this team is looking so much better right now. And they definitely have been putting in a little bit of work, it seems, and finding some adjustments and ways to win games. I mean, they fought their way into these playoffs tooth and nail, and they are here now and putting up a good fight.
They just need to keep that mental up, right? Keep that mind sharp as they're going into this game. This is where they can turn things around, really. Like, this is kind of a do or die moment, right? They need to start getting this momentum under their belt, and they're going to do it with a very interesting composition. Luga's, another double armor composition, and the Dynamo. Interesting.
Interesting indeed, but I mean, that's also kind of been the story here for some of these Division B matchups where we see a lot of less traditional comps, and some of these players, their pockets run deep with the types of weapons they can pull out.
Oh, I'm sure. I feel like as a low-level player, it's very easy to get something to the level of where you want it to be, right? And so because of that, it's very easy to flex between a bunch of different weapons. And, giving that gives them a lot more understanding of the game. And as we talk about that understanding, they're understanding that they need to get off this tower, make sure that they don't go 2 more down and wait for the jumps to come in. Strawberry, unfortunately, gets caught in mid. Organic sitting back, trying to get the jumps, trying to build this armor.
Oh man, I do think Organic might have gotten off that tower just a fraction early, because they were probably about half a second away from getting that first checkpoint, and that would have done wonders for them in subsequent pushes here. But now it is going to be Michigan State that breaks their way through that first checkpoint and pushing into the street, 3 down on the side of San Diego State, and it's only going to be Blorbo that's hanging out here, trying to run away from these 3 members of Michigan State. But look at this, actually. A couple of nice picks here from San Diego State to get back a little bit of control of their side of the map, and this tower is going to start to reset.
And that's why Dynamo is so good here, right? You have those high flicks over the walls, able to take people down. And although Chef has a nice matchup against it on some of those corners, it's still very powerful in the right situation. It's going to be painting out over on the right side there, trying to get some ground back, trying to get some specials back so that they can remove Nick from their side of the map. And it looks like they're going to be able to do so successfully here with the armor. They're really trying to make this push happen on the side of San Diego. They're trying to shut this one down, but unfortunately Ender's in the base. Ender's going onto Strawberry and is going to be able to take down one, maybe try and find this wipe here, barely getting out as the end zap. And this is looking like MSU finally has the position that they want.
Oh yes, most definitely. But credit to San Diego State there for at least maintaining the life there, because that life was very precious. And now it's already paying off as they get 2 down on the side of Michigan State. This push is going to stall just a little bit, only letting 3 more points go off of that scoreboard. And this tower once again going back to mid.
It's really interesting, Nick has just been so good up on this high area, and Inksada is trying to just get some way to get him out of there, trying to get him out of the fryer. Unfortunately, they can't really do so. It's going to be a wipe coming in for Michigan State, and Nick is going to sit here contently, not even trying to push up. Knows that the tower is not quite there where they need it to be yet, so they're going to just hold back, make sure to hold it down for their teammates, get the specials in. And that's a really disciplined play from Nick, and now Ender's going to be the one flanking and doing the dirty work, trying to dive onto Strawberry, and he's going to be able to do so. Chef does go down, as well as one more, but it's going to be a big push. This is going to not what you want to see if you're on the side of the Inksada Fries. Blorb trying to find their way around, use the armor, and finally, Nick goes down. And what a play from that slot machine.
Nick really did everything there to keep their team in just a striking position constantly. and it really paid off as they get that all the way down to 28 points remaining, and they still have a lot of control here in mid as San Diego State's trying to find their way back to this tower. They just haven't really found that opportunity yet. They do have a couple specials online. They're going to bring out this Booyah Bomb, which will take out Sandy. But they do lose a member of their team while they are at it. Another pick there from Strawberry, actually. So this might be a good opportunity for San Diego State University to start making a push here and putting some more points on the board.
Look at the pace. Look at how they were right back up in bunk with the armor, ready to go. And now Strawberry is going to be able to find one more. That's Nick. That's huge. That's their main damage person on this team and has been doing so much work, and now Strawberry's gonna be on this tower riding, and they're getting more players down. All of a sudden, the Inksada Fries are alive, and they're pushing the pace.
They really are, and that's gonna be the first checkpoint falling. This could be a huge push now. They are still down a member here. That's gonna be 2 down on the side of Michigan State. San Diego State University working their way to the second checkpoint. 18 seconds to play. They might have to push this to overtime just a little bit. The Booyah Bomb coming out here, possibly a little bit misplaced, but they do find another pick. But that's gonna be 3 down, and the White 9 points shy. Oh no.
That is the last thing you want to see if you're on the side of the Inksada Fries. Oh, and they had everything going for them, but the pressure of those AoE weapons, those area of effect weapons, with those large hitboxes from the blaster, from the slashing machine, and they couldn't get in front of the tower because there were some members behind that they needed to go deal with, and MSU ends up stretching the Fries too thin, they come apart, and the potatoes are all over on the ground.
Oh man. What a game, though, between these two. San Diego State was starting to look almost dead in the water in that one, but came alive in the closing minute. Oh man, you could just almost taste it. But alas, they fall short one more time here, and they now see themselves in an 0-3 deficit.
Oh, that fire! That you could feel the fire. Right? For a moment, you can, hear them in the distance. Their VCs, their callouts getting more energized. You could just tell that all of a sudden they found it. They found what they've been looking for the rest of the set. And maybe they're warmed up now. Maybe they do something crazy here.
Yes. Rainmaker Black Belly, though. I do think this is a suboptimal map mode for them. Unfortunately, it just the comps wise, it goes in favor of Michigan State. Michigan State does tend to play at a much faster pace, and I think if this was literally any other map mode combo, we could see a resurgence here from the Carne Inksada Fries to try to take one and extend this set. But I really want to see them do this. I really do. But everything screams Michigan State right now.
There's always the X factor of that Sploosh, which I'm sure that Organic Ink has got to be thinking about, right? Because this is one of Sploosh's best maps. This is really good for Hammer. I don't know if we're going to be seeing the Dynamo. Dynamo and Booyah are also really good at popping Rainmaker, stopping pushes, and I'm sure we're going to see Blorbo on the Junior, which is always a good pick here. They do have a composition that could really put up a lot of resistance. It's just going to be see whether or not they can execute this final time, as this is a Game 4. This is for Grand Finals for Michigan State.
Yes, a ticket to Grand Finals on the line, a date against PAL. Let's see what these teams have brought out for us, Magic.
And we do see a hero, slosher, and a disconnection on the side of SDSU. Yeah!
Oh man, and Nick's gonna go ahead and walk this one up front. It's gonna take out Organic Ink. And let's go ahead and
a little bit of camaraderie. Always good to see the teams are at the very least admirable with each other. You know, they're not trying to. They're having a good time when these disconnects happen. And that's what we like to see. There is a really good community here at CCA, and I have always appreciated that aspect of it. The games are very intense, but at the end of the day, people recognize that they're still people.
Oh yeah, everyone's a student. You can kind of relate to one another in the suffering there, and I don't know what. I think that was a little bit of a whoopsie there.
And we're gonna go back in, baby.
Michigan State got a little bit excited on that one.
Well, they were probably expecting, I believe it was the ends up Lanker. I'm trying to remember the name. I believe it's, I know it starts with an L. The thought that the NZAP was back in the lobby immediately. I'm sure the DMs are flying back and forth right now, but probably just gonna have to knock it out once again.
Yeah,
and replay.
I'm sure Michigan State is flaming Chef right now, as good teammates would. You gotta give each other a hard time about it. It's always
yeah. No, you gotta be busting. You gotta be busting each other. You gotta be able to laugh at it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So we're gonna go ahead and play Rainmaker for the second time, guys, and then a third time afterwards, where hopefully we will be able to get something going here. I don't know. I'm pulling up the comps again for whatever reason at this stage. But let's go ahead and watch Strawberry spinning circles.
It is interesting though, the compositions that have been coming out. We see the hero slosher. I really am a hero slosher propagandist. I think that it's the best slosher right now, just because of missiles and because Suction Bomb, with that damage boost, especially on things like Rainmaker, makes it so good at putting on pressure, especially on things like Wall, which are getting more popular. And being able to trap your opponents and play more of a zoning style is really nice for a slosher. So, I'm a huge fan of it. I think that MSU's composition is just so aggressive and oppressive. Having the paint for that slosher is always such a nice thing. But on the other side, it was Lucifer.
Yes.
That is,
we were close.
That is the name.
So we were definitely close on that one, but it automatically slipped my mind as well. I was like, oh my gosh, it does start with an L, but I can't quite remember like what's missing from this image. Difficulty impossible. Okay, so
it's. I mean, like, come on. It's how many Splatoon players are named Lucifer? I could think of like 3, right? There's got to be at least 3, and some like variation of Lucifer. Anyways, they're back. We're back. This game is going to get underway finally. Strawberry's going to be painting up a little bit, not going for that pop just yet. The paint is comparable, but I think that like. MSU does not have a pop here, right? Like, they don't have the pressure for it. They don't have the shredding power, this raw DPS, especially with the object shred that we're seeing on the side of the Inksada fries. And they're going to get that paint. They're going to get that special out first. And Organic Ink has this stamp at the ready. Unfortunately, 2 of their teammates not going to be at the ready to support it.
Yeah, and Sandy now going to be picking up this Rainmaker quickly. But unfortunately going to be going down soon after, only bringing that all the way to 87 remaining. There was really no support there for Michigan State, so they were trying to just make a little bit of a solo push there. That really was not going to result in much. But now take a look at San Diego State. They do have 3 members here, a slight numbers disadvantage, but Organic making a huge play, getting 2 down there. Strawberry pushing this all the way up the left side through the half pipe and going all the way up to 30 remaining.
What? Wait, what? Chef, why didn't you raid that entire time, Chef? You should have been jumping back yesterday. Hold the phone. That raid was charged, and like Chef fought off Warbo in mid, so they had a man advantage during that entire push. But for whatever reason, Chef decided to throw a couple burst bombs and shoot a couple shots, but the wall of purple ink was too much for MSU to deal with. And now they're in a huge deficit.
Yeah, but they do get 2 down here, so this could be something for Michigan State. A huge numbers advantage to work with, but they do need to go long ways here, as they do end up losing that little bit of advantage. Organic! Did you see that pause from Organic?
Yeah. A little bit of swag, a little bit of sauce on the end of that play. Jumps coming in for MSU, but it's only Nick around trying to fend off. He's going to go down, and that's going to be Organic leading the way to put the Rainmaker back on the other side of this map. 2 minutes gone, and already we've seen some pretty deep pushes from both sides, but Inksada's in the driver's seat once again, and they have the picks to make this push happen.
Organic giving up their body, though, to in order to kind of preserve their teammate. Rainmaker, though, going to be almost entirely reset there, being placed back in mid as San Diego State goes 3 down. Michigan State going to pick this one up very quickly, actually, and they're going to start working on a push of their own. Several specials coming out, though, but Blorbo coming to stop this push once again on his right-hand side, right in the maze, and Michigan State continues to struggle to get any sort of solid push going, as we see probably the best junior versus junior 1v1 to pop that bubble.
I think only one of them had Object Shredder or something, because it has ended up MSU winning the push. They have the Ray here. They can easily make his Rainmaker push a thing. Inksada Fry is going to try and stop this one. Organic able to put down the hammer on this push, but it's not over yet. Players getting traded out in every which way, and these missiles are going to land on this Rainmaker shield. It's going to be able to get the pop. Ender's going to try and shut this one. It's not going to be able to go through. Lucifer's there, able to get barely stop it, but they're not done yet. They need to keep the Rainmaker from popping. No, they don't get it. MSU shoves their way through. They didn't pop the Rainmaker in time. Finally, they have a little bit of control, but that's MSU in the lead, and Inksada Fries, all of their momentum suddenly flowing out of their sails.
Oh no, San Diego State was doing such a good job there too, just trying to slow down this Michigan State push time after time, but alas, they were able to just be persistent, and Michigan State now finds themselves in the power position as they are have such a huge lead now, and they continue to get San Diego State staggered. And this Rainmaker also in a terrible position for San Diego State to work with for the next minute. Michigan State reluctantly going to pop it seems, because they probably could have just left that in bubble 4.
Probably could have. This is the infamous stall spot, right? I mean, this is where you put the Rainmaker. I guess it's technically on the other side, right? But they're gonna pick this up and they're gonna hold it here. They've got a lockout situation going essentially. Gonna get missiled down, and Wheel Bomb's gonna come out soon from this Dynamo. But if they don't die to these Rainmaker shots, maybe, just maybe, Lucifer's in there, gonna be able to take it down, gonna die to the Rainmaker shot. But a Wheel Bomb from mid might be able to make something happen. Strawberries are gonna go for a play. This is the last 20 seconds of SDSU's life. If they don't make something happen here, they're all on the respawn. I don't know if they can do anything. MSU's gonna try and pick up this Rainmaker. Laura's gonna go for it. Lucifer may be able to get up there in time, but Nick is at the Rainmaker. I'm constantly shooting. That's 2 seconds left. Nobody can get there, and MSU holds it down one last time.
And plus, and the post-game Rainmaker reset, as always.
Lovely. A lovely game that we play.
Oh, man. Yes, and I mean, this was a lovely game in of itself between these two teams. A lot of back and forth action between these two. San Diego State, just, even within this set, was constantly improving. They just did such a good job. Every game, they got better. And just, unfortunately, it wasn't in the cards for them today. But, you know, not all is lost, though. Even though they did lose here, they will be going into our third place matchup against the Neo Comet Blasters of UT Dallas to fight it out for third place. Michigan State moving on to grand finals, taking on PAL.
I'm excited to see the PAL matchup. Obviously not biased here. But it's going to be interesting. MSU looking very strong. Looking like they're untouchable, right? Looking like they could definitely contend with some of these higher level college teams that we've been seeing from Purdue, from UCSD. It looks like they might be able to put their money where their mouth is if they wanted to next semester, or whenever we run the league next.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It'll be really exciting to see how some of these teams continue to grow and evolve their team and their game. So I'm really excited to see some possible rematches in the future for both of these.
Yes.
But that is going to do it for us for now. That actually concludes all of our semifinals matchups. All that is left are grand finals and third place matchups in both Division A and Division B. So I'm looking forward to those. But Magic, thank you so much for joining me. Go ahead and plug yourself real quick. Where can the good people of our chat find you?
You can find me on Twitter and on TikTok at magic_octo. And you can find me on Twitch streaming potentially, unless I cancel it like I did tonight, at magic8_ball.
Oh man. And as for myself, you can go ahead and find me on Twitter at DRF_Splatoon and on Twitch at TritonDRF. That's going to go ahead and do it for us here in the booth today. Thank you all so much for joining us for our last semifinals matchup. I hope you had as much fun as we did, but definitely stay tuned for more information on those finals and third place matches, as well as go buy our stickers, please. We have a sticker sale going on.
Yes,
more
the stickers.
information.
They look so good. I appreciate everyone who's been working on that.
Yes, and that has been a process.
Yes,
but
very much.
But we would greatly appreciate your support on those. You can find more information on the Discord announcements, so be sure to check those out. And lastly, we do have staff apps open, so be sure to check those out. You can find that also on our Discord. Now, for sure, this will wrap it up for us here in the booth. Thank you all so much for joining us for the CCA League, brought to you by MSI. We will see you all very soon for some grand finals and third place matches.